Ghana is located in West Africa and is slightly smaller than the state of Oregon. Lake Volta, located in eastern Ghana, is the world's largest man-made lake. It was formed when a dam was built to provide electricity to parts of the country. Unfortunately, Lake Volta is also where trafficked children or child laborers work in the hazardous fishing trade. Eric Piazza is the founder of the non-governmental organization Right to Be Free in Africa. He researches the child laborers and plans the rescue missions. Here in his office, he shows us where the rescue mission will take place.
The children here
Eric
at the
explains that the
present
child laborers are trafficked from parts of the
taken
Central
from
Region,
part of
Greater
Central
Accra,
region
the
here
Volta region, and
Greater
some of them
Accra
as far
and
as
the
the
Volta
Western
region,
region.
and some of
All
them as
along the
far as
coastline,
Western
fishermen work.
region,
However,
all
during the
because
off-season, they
in this
migrate north to Lake
area the
Volta,
ocean is
and they
here.
take children with them to help them
So
work.
most of the people
When
who
the
live around
children
this
are rescued,
place
they are
are
taken to the
all fishermen.
rehabilitation center located in
So
Accra, which is the capital of
it means
Ghana.
they have off season in the ocean.
Lake Volta reaches depths up to 75 meters, or about 246 feet. It covers what was once part of Ghana's rainforest, so tree trunks are sometimes visible from the water's surface. During the rescue mission, we often saw trafficked boys working on the lake. Here are three young boys working alone without the fishermen, which is often the case. The boys, some as young as 4 years old, start working as early as 4 in the morning when it's still dark outside. They work 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, and receive only one small meal a day, which is sometimes withheld as punishment. The canoes are quite large for these young boys to handle, and you can see how thin their bodies are. This boy, named Selassie, lost his left eye after diving under the water to untangle a fishing net, and he swam into a tree branch. This underscores the real dangers these children face every day while fishing. Sometimes the boys have to sleep outside when fishing on different islands on the lake, increasing the risk of contracting malaria, so their legs often bear scars from insect bites. This trafficked boy bears a scar from being hit on the head with a canoe oar, a common sign of the abuse these children endure. This young boy named Kofi slipped and fell on the side of the canoe. His master failed to seek medical attention, but instead offered Kofi pain medication similar to acetaminophen. According to Kofi, as he healed, his spine started bending, making it difficult to stand straight. Despite his physical challenges, Kofi had to resume fishing after a month. He can't stand upright for more than 2 minutes, and he experiences pain and numbness in his legs and feet, in addition to pain in his back. After Kofi was rescued, he was diagnosed with spinal tuberculosis. He is currently on medication and will most likely need surgery to correct the curvature of his spine. It's 4:30 in the morning, and many trafficked boys start their workday in the pre-dawn hours when it's still dark outside. While Ghana is a few degrees north of the equator, it's still quite cool in the morning. Shortly after dawn, we came across a fisherman and a young boy working on the lake. Eric has climbed into the canoe to talk to the fisherman. Since he's never met him before, Eric introduces himself and tries to gather information about the trafficked boy. Eric finds out the boy is 10 years old and his name is Kwame. He's the only boy working for the fisherman, although in some cases, a fisherman may own more than one canoe and have several boys working for him. Kwame frequently dives underwater since the fishing net often is caught on something. Eric puts his hand in the water and says, "It is very, very cold." The fisherman tugs gently on the fishing net to see if it's untangled. Eventually, it becomes free, and he starts pulling it up. Kwame remains underwater as he continues to free the net. On this particular dive, he stays underwater for 40 seconds. Eric, meanwhile, continues to talk to the fisherman to develop a relationship. Finally, Kwame resurfaces from the freezing water and pulls himself into the boat. He continues to shiver as he faces Eric so they can talk.
Hi.
Eric talks to Kwame to try and find out where he's from. The boys are often too afraid to talk to Eric, even when the fisherman is not present, for fear of being beaten afterwards. At one point, Eric removes his life vest to give to Kwame because he's so cold. Kwame tries to answer Eric's questions and watches Eric stops the fisherman when he tries to speak for Kwame. At times, Kwame finds it difficult to speak because he's shivering so much. Eric hands the life vest to Kwame and helps him put it on in hopes of providing some warmth. He continues to talk to Kwame to find out as much information as he can about the boy as the sun continues to rise above the horizon. Kwame's body is overdeveloped from the intense physical labor that any adult would find challenging. The strenuous labor creates microfractures, which weaken bones, making them more susceptible to fracture or breakage. This often painful condition impedes bone growth, so these boys won't reach their normal height even if they are rescued. Eric successfully negotiates Kwame's release later that day. However, Kwame really doesn't fully comprehend his imminent freedom because usually the negotiations take place over numerous meetings over a period of months or even years. Kwame is to some degree in a state of shock and doesn't truly understand he's going to be free. Kwame looks on as the fisherman signs his contract and Eric restates Right to Be Free's commitment to assist the fisherman so he can continue to fish or learn another trade such as farming or carpentry without using child labor. This fisherman works with his son, who is wearing the green shirt, followed by two child laborers, Kojo, who is 14 years old, and little Fanuku, who is only 5. The boys are carrying their equipment to the lake to work. Kojo is responsible for pulling up the fishing net while Fanuku, like most boys his age, usually bails water, but sometimes he has to pull up the nets too. As the fishing net is pulled up, I notice there's no fish in it. So these boys are working so hard and not going to school, yet their efforts bring little results. When the net becomes tangled on something, most likely a tree stump, Kojo must dive below to untangle it. Boys sometimes have to dive up to 20 feet below the surface to untangle the nets. Some have drowned when they become entangled in the nets and are unable to free themselves. In the background, you can see young boys on other fishing boats pass by. Eric must establish a relationship with the village chiefs before he can meet and persuade fishermen from that village to release child laborers. The chiefs have influence over the villagers, and Eric must gain the chiefs' respect and trust before he can have any credibility with the fishermen. Here Eric is talking to a village chief, and he's asking him what the chief can do to help reduce child trafficking. The chief responds by saying education is the key to effect change. You can't use force to change something. Eric asks why not? Why not bring in the police and arrest everyone? The chief says no, because then the fishermen will run away and then you'll end up having to chase them. And this is the noisy baby lamb heard during Eric's meeting with the village chief.
Let the fishing children go.
Eric then talks to the villagers through an interpreter and explains how bad child trafficking is and how the child laborers should be set free so they can have a chance to go to school. Eric was successful in negotiating the release of Kojo and Fanuku. Here he reads the contract to the fishermen and explains that by releasing the boys today, he agrees to no longer traffic children. If he does, he can be prosecuted. So this truly stops child trafficking at its root cause. The fisherman is not paid any money to do this, but he will receive assistance in the form of a microcredit for new fishing equipment and/or services such as joining a cooperative program with other fishermen. Since most fishermen are illiterate, their signature is represented by their thumbprint. Eric and the fishermen walk Kojo and Fanuku to the rescue boat. It's so good to finally see the boys smiling as they realize they are finally free. The boys' release is voluntary and amicable, underscoring the success of the negotiation process and the relationship and trust Eric has with the fishermen and the villagers. This is why his program works and has lasting successful results. When we arrive at the rehabilitation center, it's about 1 in the morning and the children are eating a hot meal prepared by the staff. The children will stay here for 6 months where they'll receive medical care and counseling before they're reunited with their families. Here we're playing a little game of follow the leader with some of the younger boys while the older boys play soccer or football. It's hard to believe that just the other day all these boys were working on fishing boats. When I asked Kojo how the fishermen treated him, he said he was treated badly. He said, "One time I was sick on the lake and another fisherman told my master to give me medicine. My master got angry at me for complaining, so he beat me with a stick."
It's on your arm
Kojo
here?
holds up his arm to show a scar about 3 inches long across his forearm.
Okay.
Kojo also said he once worked with another boy about his age named Badu, who drowned after becoming tangled in the fishing net. After a child is reunited with their family, Right to Be Free monitors their progress and works with their families to make sure they are successfully reintegrated into their communities. If needed, Right to Be Free may provide microloans to assist the family in private enterprise to help them escape poverty. 2 years later, I came to visit Kojo at his school. Here he is riding a new bicycle his sponsor bought him, so he no longer has a long walk to school. His teacher also says since returning to school after he was rescued, Kojo has improved from average to an above-average student, and he was elected prefect of his school.
Okay. Your teacher says that you are doing very well.
Yes.
And you are ahead.
Yes.
Yes. So what is your favorite subject in school?
Math.
Math?
Yes.
You like math the best?
Yes.
What is your least favorite subject?
Ewe.
Oh, you don't like learning Ewe? Do you like English?
Yes.
You speak English very well.
Yes.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a doctor.
A doctor?
Yes.
You know what you told me 2 years ago when I asked you that question? Do you remember?
Yes.
What did you say?
I want to be a footballer.
Yes, you told me you want to be a football player.
As for Kofi, who had the curved spine, he was able to have corrective surgery thanks to the doctors at the Focus Foundation. He's now recovering well and undergoing physical therapy. These are just a few of the precious children that were saved during the rescue mission, including Kwame, who you may remember was diving in the frigid waters of Lake Volta. Now that they are free, they can laugh and play like normal children and have a brighter future, thanks to the successful efforts of Eric Piazza and Right to Be Free. With your support, one day, all fishermen like this one will work on Lake Volta without using child labor.
Kosisikeleli Afrika Malupakanisu Dumorayo Israel mitanda zoyetu Kosi sikelela tina lusapora